I need to find RGB LEDs, which in 2016 shouldn't be hard, but I need to find those, a mini ITX case, and components because it's too late to order things in time for Christmas. I'm trying to do a PC build for my sister who helps with some of the game benchmarks on the site, and we need to replace her gaming HTPC, including mini ITX case. So we're gonna try and scavenge parts and put all that together. Before getting to that, this coverage is brought to you by Catalyst Energy Mints, which contain caffeine, taurine, B vitamins, and Siberian eleuthero root. Learn more about this 0-calorie energy drink alternative in the link in the description below. Use code GamersNexus for a discount. So this will serve two purposes. One is the last minute build. I'm trying to get this done. Might have enough time to do 2-day shipping on a few things if I don't have them, but we're trying to replace a system that has a Trinity APU in it. It's a 5800K, I think. It's been a while since I've looked at those parts. And it's got a GTX 960, which might stay in there because it's actually a kind of decent card. And she's able to play right now Watch Dogs 2 with high-ish settings at 1080p and get sort of high 30s, low 40s FPS. That's not great. The system is aging. The Trinity APU is dragging everything else down. So the GPU is not bad. So we're gonna try and rebuild things. You'll get a mini office tour while we're doing it. So first, I need some RGB LEDs, and personally, I don't really put those in my system, but she's a big fan of neon lights. This is the closest thing I got. So we've got a few options. One is I have these Corsair SP120 RGB kits that are going unused right now. They sent 2 of them because the one that shipped with this 570X was defective because it was a pre-production model. So this is one option. We're gonna hang on to this. Another option, of course, would be the competing Nzxt Hue Plus. I haven't actually set one of these up myself. I've used the one on the 570X. We'll try this out, but the Hue Plus is the next option. So we're gonna go grab one of those. And in addition to that, look for a CPU, a motherboard. I think we can skip the video card. There's a decent one in there. I ordered a hard drive. I was ahead of the game there. And we needed an SSD and a case and a power supply. We need everything. So let's go find it. Lights. All right, so first, let's grab the Hue Plus in case we want to use that instead. And see the collection of empty boxes for Intel and AMD CPUs, because we like to have those for the tables during shots. So we've got the Hue Plus and we've got the SP RGB kit. You're gonna have to blur that out. Okay, CPUs. So I think we're gonna go, if we go Intel, I might have a spare Intel chip. A 3570S, that was never used. It's a low power Ivy Bridge chip. It's basically built for HTPCs. So let's set that aside. We might be able to go with that. If not, we've got a 4770K in the other room, which I am trying to hang on to, but that's the last minute option. If we use Ivy Bridge or if we use the Haswell 4770K, the benefit is DDR3, which doesn't sound like a benefit, but when RGB LEDs are one of my biggest points of concern, we've got some decent memory somewhere in one of these with LEDs in it. I have a few kits of LED enabled memory. I can only spare one, I think, but I'll walk you through what we have. So for DDR3, we have HyperX Savage, G-Skill. This is pretty bad. This is 1600 or 1333 megahertz, I think. This is good. I like this memory, but that's for a permanent test bench. Cannot put that in anything else. Vengeance Pro memory, which is decent, but not LEDs, so no good for our purposes. Some ADATA mediocre kit of memory, and this is like DDR4 with the Corsair LED stuff, so could potentially use that. More Corsair LED stuff, that's the other half of the kit. These two I suspect are bad, so we can't use those. HyperX Beast, and then the one that I'm most interested in, we have these G-Skill modules that I bought for my machine that I never built, so those haven't been put to use. Ancient Genesis memory. This looks like Beast as well. This looks like Predator. And then we have a single stick of crappy RAM I'm not going to talk about. And then we've got these two Avexor modules, which have been out for a little while now. But I think they have some of the best LEDs I've seen on memory. G-Skill just announced some new stuff, but this will probably be better. So I think this will work. I think we can use this for our LED needs in this particular build. And my hope is to put something together that kind of resembles like a mixture of the Tron movies for LEDs. So get a bit of Tron in there, get some cyberpunk feel, and I think that memory in a mini ITX board, we can only have 2 slots anyway, so that'll work for that. If we run the 3570S, we're gonna be limited to, off the top of my head, something like, what is it, 2130, it might even only be 1600 megahertz, but definitely no higher than 2133. So we might get to 2133, but certainly no higher than that, and we're on DDR3. So now we need to figure out a couple of other things. What do we need to figure out now? Okay, so we have, I'm thinking the Hue Plus, and the reason I'm thinking the Hue Plus is because if I can find a Kraken cooler that we can use, then we can connect them together. The problem is the Kraken's smallest size is 140, and that's not gonna fit in the case that I think I want, which is an Inwin 901. I emailed Inwin a few days ago and asked for this case. They said they would ship one, and I haven't gotten an update. So to their credit, it was very last minute on my part, but I really don't think I'm gonna get one in time for Christmas. So I think we, as much as it sucks, might have to order a system and, oh, but then we have the Kraken problem. So the Kraken, only the Kraken X, no, the X52 won't fit in here either. X52 is a 240. So that's not gonna fit. So we can fit a 120 millimeter fan in here. So that means, this is a pretty good looking case for Mini ITX. Right now we have the Silverstone case. We have this one in use right now for that gaming HTPC. But it's not flash enough. So I do want something with tempered glass. This will work. The backup option, I don't know, we'll have to look and see what I have. So if we order this, that's an option. Now the problem is the liquid cooler I want is not gonna fit because the liquid cooler I want doesn't exist. So what we need is an X32, which doesn't exist, at least not in the US. So I need a 120 millimeter radiator and ideally an RGB pump, but I don't know if we'll have both of those. So I'll pull out the radiators, we'll see what I have, then figure out the rest. So we need a 120 millimeter radiator. Ideally, somehow we figure out the LED pump solution. This is what I got for about half of the liquid coolers that we have right now. So we've got plenty of 120s. This is an EVGA hybrid solution, which might come in use if I want to convert the video card into a liquid card later. That's an idea. Would reduce the noise levels. Even if it's a 960, which doesn't need it, it would reduce the noise. That's an option for that. But we can maybe splice one of these with a Kraken pump block or something and create a last minute Kraken X32. This is a fat 120 radiator, so it is a 120. It would work with the Inwin 901, which is what we want to use. And it cools about as well as some of the 240s because it is fatter. This is a terrible, garbage, awful Cooler Master solution that is not getting used in this build. And then, what else do we have? A couple different generations of Asetek pumps. This is an older one. Not sure what this is attached to, maybe a 550 LC or something. But you can see because it's fatter, this is a previous gen Asetek pump, so this is a bit older. And then we've got these bad boys. I think this might be a 420 radiator. Bit large, considering we can only fit 120. Puts us a bit over the limit. We've got 420 and 360s in here if we were building a larger system. Okay, so that's an idea. We'll kind of set this aside. I think we can potentially dig from here if necessary and hack together a solution with the LED pump plate from a Kraken and then one of these and rip the tubes off the barbs, try and fill it and put them together. Not a great solution, but a possible one, and we don't have a lot of time anyway. So now we need to figure out the case, check through inventory, I guess. Hopefully get a 901, but if we can't get it, we'll see what I have. So this is what we want and don't have. Here's what we have, don't necessarily want. So So for cases, all of these are cases. 20 something case, 28 cases maybe. I'm gonna say we go with ITX. Antec cube's an option. It's not really flashy enough. Core V1's an option if you don't know what that looks. There's a Core V1, could do that. It's got 3 panels that you can switch around. So I could put a glass panel on the top and that would look straight down at the pump plate, which would hopefully be RGB. That's a baby, big maybe on that. Nzxt Manta, I forgot that exists, and I forgot that I have one. But we do in fact have an Nzxt Manta, and it is the red-black one. That's all I got other than video cards. So, okay, so here's our Manta that we used in the review ages ago. And it is a pretty nice looking case. I may have used the phrase bloated whale when I was describing it originally, but it's grown on me, especially when this is one of our only options. Okay, so let's see if we can get this in-win one. If I do the in-win case, then we would have to, how fast can we get it here? Can't do that. Can't do that, can't do that. It's the 21st, technically. So we'd have to do 2 day. So if we do 2 days, we'd be paying $160 for the case, $50 for shipping. That's kind of brutal. Would we even get it on time? Okay, so if we did 2 days, $160 on the case, $50 on shipping, and we get it on the 27th. That's no good. $80, get it by the 23rd. That puts our order up to $240 for a case. I don't think I'm okay with that. So you can wait for in-win, and they probably won't get it here in time because I asked too late, or we can pull something out of this list. I'm gonna say we pull not the S340, where is it? Say we pull the Manta for now, which is located in the attic. It's in I've got it cataloged as long-term storage, which means it's not in plans to be tested anymore. Okay, let's go pull the Manta. And then if the in-win one comes in time, great. If not, we'll be using the Manta, which is not a bad case and gives us a glass side panel, so I can position it in a way that all the LEDs will be visible, and that'll look nice anyway. So we're gonna go into some of the inventory, which is the attic. I think we are good to go. Manta's conveniently right here, so we gotta get this down. Okay, that's an unpleasant noise. Okay, I just tagged this. We just started that inventory system that you saw. That is brand new. It's only got cases and video cards in it right now. There are a lot of cases. Need to figure out what motherboard and CPU we're using. So if we use this case, we can actually get away with using an X42. And I wouldn't have to do anything crazy and try and make an X32. Let's go with that plan for now. Motherboard, RAM, we have RAM. RAM right here. RAM, we can put all this shit away. Z170, Z170, X99, Z170, Z170, A88, 97, Z97. That was supposed to be for my build that I never did. Oops. Z170 Mini ITX, which would be perfect if I could spare it, but I can't. We need that for the site. There is, however, an H77 motherboard that has not moved since I bought it some years ago to use with the 3570S and never did. You can see there's a thread here, common thread between my endeavors to build systems and then ending up doing everything just for GN and not ever building any computers that I want to build So we're gonna do that now. We're gonna actually be able to use this board, in theory, if it works. Bought it and never used it. This is an H77 mini ITX board. I feel staticky. That's not bad looking. That's an okay looking board. Those are pretty gross. Okay, so cool. We have a motherboard. We have a CPU. Now we need a power supply and a drive, which I just bought the drive the other day. So we have a 4 terabyte drive. She has used consistently every year, blows through all the space on the drive. So I'm gonna upgrade it to a 4 terabyte drive. And this is one of the new ones I haven't tried yet. I really should benchmark it before I permanently put it away in the system. So I got one of those. We need a boot drive. I guess we need a drive for test for now. So let's take all this in the other room. And I have an SSD that we can use that's already built for Ivy Bridge. And we can just deploy it instantly to see if everything works. And if everything works, then the next step is to start the cloning process and clone her existing data onto these devices. And then hopefully Windows will survive a transplant from AMD to Intel. And if it does, we're good. If it doesn't, I really don't want to install a new OS and environment, because once someone's kind of embedded in theirs, you don't want to uproot that. It's like, Merry Christmas, also here's a new OS for you to learn, and good luck finding all your files. So we're gonna try and avoid that, but let's get this started. Oh, I need a power supply. Back in the room. So what do we have? We have a Photon 65080 plus gold. Higher efficiency ratings, probably better for this build since it's an HTPC. Ideally something with a passive cooling. I don't think any of these have that. Enermax could do that, but okay, we'll use one of these. It's a quark and a photon. Okay, all right, next room. So we have all the parts. Now it's just a matter of building it, and that's what we're gonna be doing in the next part. First of all, a couple of options here. I could upgrade the video card. The 960 that's in there is pretty good, but I might be able to scavenge something better. We'll see. I think I might have an old 780. It might be a bit better than the 960. The next problem is going to be liquid cooling. I do want to liquid cool the CPU for the visual effect, but the GPU is going to burn up in that case, depending on what I use and what cooler it has. So I might end up liquid cooling a GPU. You want to stick around for that. But yeah, the build is part 2. We'll benchmark and do the file transfer, and then face any challenges that may arise. And I'm sure they will arise, as they always do. So, Patreon link in the post-roll video if you want to help us out directly. Links in the description below for more information. Subscribe for the next part of this video, which will go live on December 24th, and then the conclusion on December 25th. So to everyone watching, have a good holiday. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. This review will come eventually. I had issues with it, but I have a solution. Soon, TM.